Their theme is how we exist. Remember last time we talked about three worlds, and we covered the word of safety, because without safety of our physical body, we do not have the world. We have a problem, a big problem, a crisis. And then you call us and we show up because we are crisis methodologists and crisis managers. But we'd like to manage crises before they exist, because they exist here in subjective reality, then they come into our objective reality, and then super objective reality comes and gives us some sort of bill or some sort of rule that we have to obey, and we end up in a place that we don't want to be. So to prevent that from happening, we are sharing today what's happening in the third world, because in the first world we survive, in the second world we open our heart, we start loving people just because we love ourselves enough that we do not disturb ourselves with somebody else's craziness. And then we can do what we want, we can be with who we want, and then we have an opportunity to start thinking, because all of that before is not Homo sapiens, not whatsoever. This is Homo who's feeling for everybody and Homo who's running for everybody. And then we get to this level where we can imagine things. We can illuminate our world with our thinking. And that we can use our imagination not to create the question, oh my God, what will happen when this, and this, and this will fall apart? We create our world with the question, how can we do it better? What can we do to create a better world? So we will start with the cycle. Could you just illuminate for 2 seconds that we live in a cycles?
Yeah, let me just share this incredible poster over here. Guys, as you know, with Svetlana, we are expert in this, and we invite you to stay with us because what we're just about to share is going to change your way you think and you act in this material world.
So, cycles. This picture shows you the cycle of maturity. And we will talk about it because the little child always imagines. It lives in a world of magic. And little child doesn't have many tools, but this tool of imagination works perfectly every time. Because when you don't know how to change the material world, you can always change your thinking about it. And it's called magical thinking. And very often parents say, no, you just made it up. And yes, that's true. But who smiles more, you or your child? Who feels always overwhelmed, you or your child? Of course, the child could feel overwhelmed if you overwhelm him or her, but usually not so much. Who goes to the ball in the pumpkin? Who dresses up for the Halloween? And who likes to stay in front of the mirror and imagine yourself being anything and everything? So today, I'm going to show you how I see the world of adults, the business world, through the archetypes, through the storytelling. But this storytelling is not separate from what's going on in your business. And in fact, we already talked about the story of your business. Let's show what we looked at before in the business world. How does it look? You see the same carriage made out of pumpkin, our imagination. Inside we sit and we wait until something happens. But nothing happens. Why? Because right here, we don't have a clear plan. We don't have the rain on our mind, and it runs away from us. And it's inflamed. That color is an inflammation. So what happens when that mind is going crazy? Where do you go? You go straight to the emotions and to the negative energy. So Vasili, could you please give us a little bit of an overview of how the business works with these schematics? Because that is about business, and this is a business schematics.
Yeah, the name of this poster is Thinking and the Business. Yeah, and you guys, as you know, we have a 9 different type of thinking, and of course, like we're always connected with our date of birth. Yeah, our calculations start with the date of birth because inside of this date, this is not only numbers. This is a lot of information. And that's why you really need to understand and remember this picture. Everything is related with our like subjective world here that's really connected to our emotions. And we have 90k emotions that really drive our through this world. And if we not control this horse here, the red one, we can be in the different situations. Yeah, through our emotion, through our thoughts. And actually it starts the formula because all our results, they started with our thoughts. Our thoughts, they just started like our emotions, and emotions really affects our actions, and our actions can be effective, not effective, and no action. I'm just waiting. And that's why we really need to understand what does it mean your date of birth. Because to be able to drive this horse, yeah, to ride this horse is very important because all opportunities they come from other people. And if you can build a great relationship and if you can go together as a team to the goal, what you really want to achieve, it's one story. But in reality, when you don't understand the nature of our human being, the nature of our thoughts, we think everyone should be as I think. Everyone should like doing like as I think. In the business, with the strategy, with methodology, you have to prepare. It's clear. But what about your personal life? What about your relationship? Because we don't have instructions how to live on this earth. And that's why with this kind of posters, you can see clearly how to use the power of the energies that you get like every second. And of course, you have to be as a great coachman in order to drive to the right direction and activate your power. This is like hidden inside of your body and your consciousness.
So, and see, this poster also has the success formula and happiness formula. And that is also calculated, but you can put your date of birth into a tic-tac-toe grid and see what are the competencies that you have and what are the competencies that you have to improve or develop. And then we can calculate how can you feel successful, because our success is unique. It's different from somebody else's success. But the problem that we do not arrive to success is because we're scared. We're constantly scared that we're going to lose something, either money or opportunity to make money or relationships that also help us create money. And all of it is happening in the material world. But if we move from this very structured, very business world, we can understand that this horse belongs to a persona that is sitting inside, and the coachman is a professional. It's somebody who is driving that persona to a right direction through showing how to rein the mind. So who are these professionals? Many different professionals exist. We are business coaches, crisis managers, methodologists of life. But maybe you go to psychologist, maybe you go to regressologist, maybe you go to tarot numerologist. The truth of the matter is we are all of that because we have numerical psychology as our profession as well. And we also have two higher degrees, each one of us in different spheres. So if you do not know how to rein your mind, you need a professional to show you, the coach to teach you how to get the direct access to that which drives your life. So let's move to the next slide. And I want to show you right here how that persona that sits in the carriage actually is always archetypal. We are storytellers. As the child, you start telling stories, and then later you forget. But when you do not feel okay in your life, you create stories. Usually, those are the spooky stories, but you can create all kinds of stories. And today I'm going to show you the story of Cinderella. Cinderella is a girl who doesn't even have a dream. She has a lot of work. She does not know where to go. Her biggest dream is to get the job done. So if anybody is in that state, when you're constantly working, separating seeds from shells, from garbage, you cleaning up, I see myself all the time. People come, 5 minutes later, I have to run around and start resetting the room because everything is out of place. And I want people to feel comfortable. But then at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I love my friends and I love my family, but Cinderella in me does not sit down and relax with everybody. I am still moving around. And so Cinderella is this archetype, that persona who is sitting and waiting. She's not even a lady in waiting because she's not by the princess, by the queen. She's just alone in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, the magician comes. This fairy godmother. The fairy godmother has an idea for Cinderella. Cinderella has no idea. She just heard somebody's idea. My sisters, these two other ladies who own the business of their life, they got the invitation. Why didn't I get the invitation? Well, because I'm a Cinderella. And off she goes. How can I fix your dress? How can I make you more beautiful? How can I help you get to the ball? If you're that kind of person, pay attention. The godmother comes and says, hi, dear, I have a great idea. Here is the pumpkin. It's going to be your carriage. Here is a couple of mice. They're going to be your horses. And you have to go to the ball. What happens to Cinderella in this moment? She goes, thank you very much. I will do as you wish. She's still a child. She doesn't have her own idea. She's grateful. She's amazed. She's beautifully dressed, but she's still there. And now she needs to get to the ball and see what happens. She needs to go to this inner space in which she can transform herself. Because no matter what suit you wear or what dress you wear, you come to the business meeting and everybody knows you're Cinderella. Do you have examples from your coaching life, Vasily, to share with us? When a person
Yeah,
is still a Cinderella.
yeah. Of course. We always pretend to be somebody else as well. Yeah, to go with the masks out. And of course, when you go from the first stage of your business, I'm talking about you don't have the history of your family. For example, you started like your business at first generation. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's always like one leg there, one leg there, and you always like this kind of hesitations. But if you really know yourself, if you really know your power, if you really know your potential, and it happens sometimes by chance, you get the right direction that's really connected with your date of birth, you can get the results very, very fast. But most of the time, we struggle a lot of things. We'll struggle every time. And to have this kind of, as an advisor, it's very important who can guide us through daily routine. And of course, like in the businesses, we can find this kind of story 100% like every day. And from like my 4 years experience right now, of course, we have this kind of business people who even stop dreaming after 1 year in the business. They lose a lot of energy and they don't want to dream anymore. They cannot get set any goals. And that's why we really looking for this kind of help as a magician, and we go to the different trainings, different like motivational places. Okay, give me this energy, but not every time is very like good. Why? Because when you go to one place you can get some motivations, but when you come back to your place you lose your motivation. And the next day, you're always by yourself. And that's why we have a lot of techniques. Yeah, these days, it's just incredible. You can get different tools how to grow your business. But everything starts with the kind of magic stuff related to our date of birth. I will repeat, like related to our date of birth, because this is our magic combination of our like key direction to unlock our potential. And every time we have to not believe in magic, but we really need to be in reality and remember what kind of masks I have right now on my face, in front of business owners or my partners, in front of my employees. Because in objective reality, everybody can see us. They can see us very, very easy. But we cannot see ourselves, the way we act, the way we communicate. And that's why it's always like as a game. I'm gonna win or I'm gonna lose.
So you see, this is the physical world. In the physical world, you are a Cinderella. Maybe you have genetic predisposition to do that. And you are always seeking an approval. Why? Because only when somebody recognizes you as a good worker and somebody is doing your job, somebody is taking upon yourself more and more responsibility, only then you'll be a good girl, a good boy, and you will satisfy the requirements of an adult. And in this case, if you're a business owner, you are an adult in this business and you are in charge of the decisions. And those decisions do not come just from the physical unsafety. It also comes from the emotional world of emotional unsafety. If somebody never gave you approval, if you were always figuring out, what should I do? So mommy loves me, daddy loves me, my grandmother is not getting angry with me. If you're constantly figuring things out based on your feeling, needing love, you're mistaking that need for true love, which is the love for yourself. Recognizing who you are, what your aspirations are, what your past, what you've accomplished so far, not looking at the past as failure after failure. Every failure is the step to success. And so then the inner revolution starts right there. And how it happens is that you recognize that your body is reacting to situations all the time. And to make decisions with the body who's reacting to the negative thought is very hard because every decision leads you to unsafety. But when you become the chariot, you're no longer the pumpkin who waits for somebody to clear the space for you and put the mice in charge of where you're going. When you understand your ability to be in charge, you become the chariot. No longer you are waiting for somebody else with the magic wand. You now have the choices. And you see in the middle, I choose what I love. The Cinderella is ready to go to the ball. She already is in a beautiful dress, but she's still moving in two directions. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Is it going to be okay, or I'm going to be imposter and everybody will understand I don't know anything? But only if she goes there physically and does something physically and then lives through this emotionally, only then she can move to the third world when she has an experience that she can have the lesson from. And the lessons always come as an archetype. The lessons never come as a table in your head, because we are storytellers. And what story you tell yourself, that's how your world will be. So if you remember in the story, she arrives to the ball, the prince is okay with her, everything is fine. But then she has a rule, 12 o'clock, I will no longer have a dress. Did you have a dream like that? You know, that you have to pass an exam and all of a sudden you show up and you don't have pants. I had a dream about exams in the college where I show up, I didn't have a skirt. But I think every child goes through this kind of dreams. I'm very archetypal, Jungian psychology that I love very much and study a lot. And this is the Cinderella in the dress with the choices. And if she goes with the choice one, I go back. I know my dress, I know my place. She's safe. It's uncomfortable, comfortable. If she chooses something else and she runs to the palace, oh my God, what if 12 o'clock I am naked without a mask and somebody sees I am an imposter? And that's where we go back to the business poster, because not to feel that you're an imposter, you need 9 competencies. If you don't have 9 competencies, at least, you can have more if you want to. But if you have these 9 competencies, that you know how to set the strategy and implement it, that you ask questions and you understand people and you can feel it in your physical body, what people experience with you, and you can adjust. When you can analyze, stop, look, calculate, see what's there. If you cannot prioritize, this is what I have to do now. not 5 years from now, not after I already accomplish everything. If you cannot talk, communicate, see the logic, how to move things from one place to another, how to communicate so people can buy your idea, because essentially we're always selling something, right, to somebody. If we cannot create comfort for ourselves, nobody will do it for you. And if you cannot understand how things work, how can you have a material result of it? And if you have an idea and you want to give it to everybody, nobody takes it, you need to be clear enough, you have to have enough energy, and you have to deliver safety. So people feel safe, they want to participate with you. So those 9 competencies that we have is our dress. This is our masks, this is our persona, but it's also the skill and the lessons of life. And that's where the horse is no longer run by thoughts and emotions. We now have the formula. What do we do to get where we need to get? You want to add anything here?
Yeah, I really wanted to add some information about our competences that you don't need to be afraid that you're missing some of them, yeah, because we are all born with some deficit of these competences, but the good news is we can work on them every day. And we have right tools, we have our personal calendars, and they can help us to work on these competences every day. And the good news, even it doesn't matter how old you are, working today, understanding this, working on your energy, raising your energy, working like with a more focus position on these competences will help you to change your dresses very, very fast. If today is we're talking about like analytical stuff, of course you can find the day number 3 and work particular during this day on this competence number 3. If we're talking about like energy number 7, for those who was born without number 7, it's a little bit like not easy to keep this energy in the body because there is no place to keep it. And that's why knowing this is going to help us to be ready for any situation in our life. Because we're talking about crisis, how to not avoid them because life is our crisis. Yeah, because even when we were in the process of like showing up in this world from mom's place, it was the crisis for the body. It's not like easy. It's okay. Okay, here we are. Yeah, this was the first crisis for us. But we're alive, we're still alive, and we can go like as far as possible with our energy and understanding who I am and what you really need to improve in my life. And when you have your energy and competences, you can go through any crisis in your life. And of course, you really need to understand we have a different layers of the crisis, but the point is not to be afraid of this, but to be ready with the right dresses, with the right people, and with the right like tools. It's easier.
Right. And you know the saying that you always step on the same garden rack? Our crises are cyclical. It's not coming out of the blue. We have 9 days, 9 months, 9-year cycle. And we have a personal calendar that I always leave the link in our description. The personal calendar helps you regulate the crisis and know what's going on. So Vasili was just showing you this middle table between 2 green tables where you have all the competencies listed. So starting from the bottom on the left corner is number 1. Then number 2 is understanding, number 3 is analysis. Then you go down, knowledge is 4, logic is 5, right in the center. You have to have some logic. If you don't have any, talk to other people because it's also the place where you communicate. Love is 6, then energy is 7 at the bottom on the right. Practicality, material world understanding in action, and then actions themselves. This, as I was talking about, ideas are great, but you have to do something about it. And when you do something without having these competencies, you are exhausted. And when you're exhausted, you don't want to do things. I have a business owner right now who started her business, and in the beginning, she was very inspired. And then she realized the business is harder than she predicted because now it starts growing. So For any business owner, yay, my business is growing. For my business owner client, wow, I cannot handle it. And the first thing I said when she started the business, I said, identify the areas that you are not going to be able to do alone. Oh, when the business grow, I will. And I'm like, not when you're going to be dead by then. And so slowly but surely she realized that, and she hired people. But these people were unreliable because I can work this day and I can work this day and the next week I cannot work this. So there is no stability, no safety. And what happens every time the helpers go, for whatever reasons they need to go, they have personal life crisis or whatever, what happens, this business owner goes back to doing everything by herself, not enough energy, not enough strategy, not enough logic of the business, because one person cannot do a whole big business. And by now she's exhausted. I can show and analyze, and I can give recommendations. I cannot do business for my business owners. Therefore, I've created a clear, very beautiful poster, and I show it to my business people. But before we do it, human actions create results. So I want to show you where your kingdom is. You see this minus and plus. This is how much money you make with the competencies. When you build this competency, you can do minus 100% or you can do plus 100%. And it's totally up to you. Do you want to be in Cinderella shoes, in Cinderella dress right there with the minuses, if none of these competencies are working, or you go to the plus area, the green area, you know how the green light works on the road. You stay, you see the red light, you stay, yellow, you get ready, green, you go. But if you don't go to the green, when you say, I'm stuck, that's where you stuck. So let's go back to Cinderella, because Cinderella is making her decision, and her decision is to move, but not like the horse is going, because she's like, I'm about to be torn in two pieces. She goes back to this inner world, and she creates the revolution, not from the body reaction, but from the understanding that revolution is a drastical decision. Evolution is a slow process. 200 years later, your business is good, but maybe you only live 150. And it's good to make this decision right now and turn your horses toward one place, or let one horse go. That's also okay. You see, by the way, in my poster, and it's intentional, the fairy godmother has only one horse, single-minded. In the story, I think there are 6 mice that do it, but you actually need only one mind. You don't need 25 people advising you, because decision comes from you, not from anybody else. And then what happens, you become the empress. That archetype is a next level of your responsibility, the next level of your ability to be a partner with somebody. And that partner, as you can see, is the masculine energy, the emperor. And those two need to align. These two have to be aligned. Otherwise, the empress is still a Cinderella, because she's doing all by herself. And if the emperor is not aligned with the empress, because this poster is not just for women, it's for men as well. We have to have those two personas, those two archetypes aligned. Why? Because man brings the power and the spirit. They have a little more muscle, that's all. And women bring this understanding of harmony and intuition and beauty and embodiment of love. I love what I do, and therefore I hire people that I like. I don't hire people just because they happen to be in my area. I find people that can create abundance with me. And then the masculine part of you is leading and showing the strategic vision and making sure that all the parts of the business are structured, because emperor is about the structure. Imagine emperor without the legions that can protect the territory and without boundaries. What will happen to the kingdom? And then single-minded rocket launcher. That's what happens when those two archetypes align. because now you can expand into the next world. Not only that Cinderella is no longer in the world of the kitchen, she's now in the palace, but she's also now are able to expand her impact. She can influence other worlds. What is the other world? It's a sacred union between us and other people. And in each business, that sacred union has to happen. We are uniting missions of everyone who's there with the mission of the business, with the mission of the world, the mission of survival and thriving for the whole humanity and the whole universe at the end. That's what the business is about. The business is not about making money, because if you're only focused on money, you do not feel that storytelling, that magic, that fulfillment, where you get recognized for what you love. But if you are only focusing only on the spiritual world and you're creating storytelling and you don't do any actions, what happens then? Of course, you fall into despair because nobody understands me and nothing's happening and my business is falling apart and I don't know why. So I want to show you the lower part of the business of life. This is the business of life. The first thing we have is the caterpillar. Caterpillar eats. That's all. I want more of the material world. I need to eat, 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 eat. A friend of mine likes the monarch butterfly, so she bought milkweed bush, because they only eat that, and they sit on this milkweed bush and eat all day long. And very soon that whole big bush goes bare, no leaves on it. This is the most important moment. I am enough. I've had enough. I don't need any more. Do you know that moment? Very, very seldom we feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me grab more. The next moment, once I have enough, I need to go and process. I love to study. Vasili loves to study. We've been studying for I don't know how long now, all our life, right? The time to process. How do I put what I know into the life, into my work? And then when I am cocooning and I am practicing and I am letting go of the old me, the Cinderella in me. I have a business owner who is born actually on a day which is a Cinderella archetype. There is a way to calculate that. And he's being a Cinderella in his business. And however, I was telling him about different things, he would not listen. And then I told him a Cinderella story. He's like, oh my God, I know this Cinderella story. This is about me. I'm like, exactly. That's what exactly I'm talking about. But before I gave him an archetype, the details of the business take your attention away from your power, because you're the architect, you are the chariot, and you are the choice. Nobody else, not even your business, not even your boss, you are. In every choice, you either emerge into the empress, into the butterfly, or you die inside the cocoon. You either make the decision to be a sovereign, to live your life, or you keep waiting for somebody else to tell you what to do about it. And that blueprint of who you are, the very right image on the bottom, that energetic blueprint is there already in your body. And the easiest way to do it is to go back to the business poster. And now when you know your story, you see it in a table. And as a table appears in front of you, you know what are the parts of the business, or what are the parts of your physical business, the body, what is the part of your emotional business, your second world, your heart, what is the part of my subjective reality, how does it relate to the table, and what are the parts that are in my blueprint that I can take it and use it, and what are the parts that are not there and I need to hire somebody else to do it.
Yeah, and what is the part of my business partner as well? Because yesterday I had a meeting with a business lady. She was so exciting. Like telling my story. Oh, Vasily, we're just about to launch our new project, and we have like two different partners as well joining us. But to be honest, we had some struggling, but like fights couple of weeks ago because we really don't understand each other. And she knows about what we do, and she asked for help. And when I got their date of birth, I show her on the street right away with a pencil. This. And I show them like their cycles. Yeah. Because we live 9 year cycle, 9 month cycle, 9 day cycle. And when you understand this, when you understand this kind of the flow of your energies, you can use it. But of course, when you don't understand, you really cannot understand and see from your subjective reality that business is something in objective reality. And to be able to connect your part from here to there, you have to have the right tools. You have to right helpers, advisors who can guide you. Because the story is that you cannot see yourself in objective reality. Somebody needs for you to show you this is your actions, this is your like way what you really want to build your business or you really want to destroy it without even knowing it because it takes time little like by little, and you just at the end you lose your energy, you lose your business, you lose your material world, and you sit just unhappy and where is my bottle of wine or beer or let me just smoke something because I'm tired. I'm too tired.
Yeah. Yeah. And those fears that we experience are the fears of unknown. And we usually, when we understand ourselves through this metrics, through the numbers within your birth date, you, first of all, do not need to worry about losing time because you know exactly through your personal calendar where on which day is the best energy to do certain things. And when things are falling apart, you know it's not your fault. It's just miscalculation of the right timing, and you can improve it because you have a personal calendar. It's calculated exactly for you with your date of birth, and it's very easy to order, and we can send it to you in Russian or in English. And then when you're scared of losing the material world, you can calculate what is your strategy if it's even there. Who are the people who are doing it on your team? Is that person is in the right place? Next time, maybe we'll show you our audit map, how we audit businesses and what is included. And you will understand how these numbers relate to how you lose material world. And you don't have to lose it because you will know who's the best person for the job. And the fear of losing relationship at work or at home is also based on misunderstanding because we want other people to be like us. But we have different geography, different biology, different sociology. We come from different traditions, different cultures, different religions, from this different level of education. All of it plays a role. And we have different experiences, of course. Even in the same family, twins are different. So when we understand that we cannot have exactly what we want from another person, maybe for the first time, because you see this is a different archetype. And the way I work, for example, I always tell you what story you're living. I'll show you the image of that story. And it becomes so evident. The biggest business people with the biggest money, they go, that's me. And because it's recognizable, it's very, very deep. We have a conscious world and unconscious world. And in our conscious world, we can open the table and you can see we use different technologies from different worlds, from different systems, from different authors, but we are authors. And what I'm showing you on the second of this bigger poster with the Cinderella, this is how we work because we both are group 7. We need magic. But that magic is very structured and practical. Why? Because we understand business of life, methodology of life. So when you look at the table, you might see the business, but you don't see yourself. And you are different from your business. 2 different dates of birth, by the way. Missions might be different as well. My mission is to create the business, but the mission of the business is different. And so look at this project that we showed you today as a step up from the little child who is lost and unsafe to the adult who can feel the world but not fall apart with the world, to the creator, the third world from this nesting doll we showed you in the previous video. You become a creator of layers that create not only you and your business, they create the world around you. So you could have a better world. And that is the storyteller, that is the magic child. We never lose the magic child. But we need to elevate the scared, abandoned child to that level. When the magic child can start creating with all the tools that we're giving you, that life gives you, that God gave you, that universe give you on a silver platter all the experiences. And instead of going, not a crisis again, you go, yay, I expand and I include life just the way it comes to me.
Yeah, and just remember, there's no bad time, guys. This is just time to grow, and you really need some information, some knowledge, some energy, and advisors who can help you to grow and go through any time in your life. And I can really share my story with a client from Germany. It's been like for 1 year already. We're working together. And last week she was sharing her impressions. She was so happy that 1 year ago she had the opportunity to go on TikTok and see me talking about all this kind of stuff. She was so impressed and she just ordered right away the private session. And after she decided to go as a business owner, and she was able to build her company from 18 to 38 people as a team. And right now she generates some money as a business.
Good
And of
money.
course, yeah, and people are happy because she's happy and she can play with these energies and she can share her energy with the rest of the team. And of course, she goes sometimes through the crisis, but it's not crisis that will destroy us. They will be shaped up a little bit just to be better version of ourselves as we were yesterday. Stay with us, ask questions, and we'll be glad to answer to them.
And make choices that support life and support you.
Yeah. Ciao.